Hey everyone, here is a video on our next two assignments, projects 3 and 4. We are going to be doing a survey and then a report on the findings of that survey. So essentially we're doing some primary research and then we are going to add some secondary research to that. So looking at articles, studies, things like that, and then putting those all together, and we're going to create a report that reports our findings. So the important things to remember with this set of assignments is to remember that they work together. One of the problems that I've had with students in the past is that they create a survey, but then they don't think ahead to how they're going to do the report, and they realize, oh, I should have asked different questions or maybe had a slightly different topic that would have worked better for a report. So just kind of think the whole process through. So just a quick thing on ideas. There are some ideas on the assignment. Some things to think about would be any hobbies that you have. Maybe you want to find out people's attitudes on that. If you have anything for work that you can do, I think that would be great. That'd be really cool to share with your employer potentially, or at least just get some practice with it. I had a student in this spring, I think it was, do a survey on the types of music that they play over the loudspeaker. Should they be playing music over the loudspeaker? Should people be allowed to listen to headphones? It's kind of an interesting thing, but again, it was with his workplace. I've had people ask about favorite apps or favorite social media things. You could do a survey for like a business that you are thinking about starting. You could even just again, just imagine you work for a company and they are thinking about adding a new product or doing something different, and you want to get attitudes from people on that. So just make up your scenario. Again, what do you want to do a survey on, and then write a report of the findings on. For the first project, the survey project, definitely read very carefully the pages in your book, but there are also really important articles, very helpful articles that are linked in the assignment for the survey itself. That's actually part of your assignment when you're first starting out here, is to read those articles that are linked in the assignment. There are some that are about surveys and best way to build survey questions. And then the second articles are all on using Google Forms. I recommend that you use Google Forms. It's one of the easiest, quickest ways to create a survey. However, if you're comfortable with SurveyMonkey or some other product and you have an account and that's what you want to use, I'm perfectly fine with you doing that. But if you've never done this before, Google Forms is the way to go. It's super easy to use. So there's some articles out there to help you. Just my own personal hints on creating a survey. It is better to have more questions than not enough. However, you don't want to go overload, right? The survey shouldn't take more than 3 to 5 minutes to complete. You want it to be something that people will take the time to do. But while I do want you to have a couple of open-ended questions, which is where people get to leave comments and leave their own thoughts, the vast majority should be multiple choice, because this gives you data that you can then create tables and charts and things from later on. So it is better to give people choices and have them pick things than to just always do open-ended questions. Leave those open-ended questions for additional comments, or like describe that scenario that you just said, that yes, it does happen to me, kind of thing. But otherwise leave most of them to be multiple choice. Also, this is a little thing that people sometimes forget. Just like with our instructions, you should have little instructions up at the very top that tell people, this is who I am, this is what the survey is for, please take a few minutes to give us your responses. So we're going to go through the process and create the survey, get feedback on our questions and all of that before we put it out. You'll notice that you'll probably miss some questions or wish you had worded some questions differently. The only thing we can do is just try our best to get them right the first time. It takes a while to get better at doing surveys, so but we're going to take our time and try to make it a good survey. Then you're going to actually publish your survey out into the real world. We, of course, are going to answer the survey for each other, but then it's your job to actually get more responses from people. You can actually ask people at work or in a particular social group that you want to ask. You can also just throw it out there on social media, coworkers, and again, you can just say like, hey, this is for a class. If you can just take it and pretend this is something, that you are interested in, or make it real, and target your audience. Then after all of that's done, we'll take those results and we'll start working on a report. So I'll check in about the report later. I just like to mention it now with the survey because you need to be thinking that you've got to have a deep enough subject and ask good enough questions that you can then write a decent sized report on the results that you get. All right, I look forward to seeing your surveys. This is a super fun project and one that most people can see right away, like how this will be super helpful at work. Thanks, see you soon.